Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Here we are again. We got Cold Empress.
Hey, greetings.
We got Uncle Uto.
What's happening?
And of course, myself, Iffy. How are y'all doing today? So we're just going to just dive right on in and just get this ball rolling. Now, check this out. We want to talk about family again because right now, the family unit is, what's the word I can use? Is
Suffering.
yeah, it's being separated, like surely, it's being separated, and what do we do? How do we mentally process it, let alone deal with it? How do we emotionally connect and reconnect with our families? So we're gonna sit down and share our viewpoints on this because it is getting it's getting rough out there and we don't know what to do. So kick back, relax, and we're gonna get this party started. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight from my soul. Welcome back, welcome back. So now when it comes to family, where family is supposed to be an intact unit and we are dealing with so much separation, this is not the time to be separated. I understand, there are rules that we're supposed to follow. I understand that there are things that we're supposed to be doing. And I'm not saying no, don't do those things, but at least are you in communication with your family? Are you at least, speaking life to each other? Are you at least encouraging one another? Are you at least saying, hey, if you need anything, I'm here. I got you. I love you. Because the next minute somebody can drop just like that. And then what does that do? What does that make you feel like? Are you that far distant? Or can we bring it back in? So I want to turn the table, to Cole and allow her to share her thoughts when it comes to family and with today's society right now.
Well, I think when it deals with family, we have been programmed over these years of separation. We have dealt with our own ego and pride, wanting to be better than the next. Too many chiefs in a family and not enough Indians. There is no support system. There is no love. I think it's very important, especially during these times, with all the programming that has been taking place in life, that we separate from the programming. I'm thinking that's why people are getting ill and sick, is because of the energy and the oneness and the support of us coming together. The energy is one. We are all one, connected.
Yeah.
So if we can't be connected and vibing together in one home, and I know it's like a contradiction, a bias of what I'm saying, because COVID is teaching us to be separate, be apart. And we've been taught this for so long. I think that we need to rethink what we've been programmed as humans. What do you think, Unc?
Well, I agree with you. I mean, we are not created to be separate. Loneliness could kill sometimes. So it's important to really, I think it's something that we have to be able to balance the situation that we are facing right now. It's tough time. What we're seeing is real. We're seeing people dying in increasing number. You saw in the last Thanksgiving, they said that now we're just seeing the effect, the impact of that gathering, how it has really increased the number of casualties, which is directly related to COVID. So it's important to balance it. Yes, we cannot be afraid, but we have to treat it as if this is not going to be a permanent way to live. That we have to look at it as this is just a stopgap, a short-term situation that we're looking at. It would just be like if you were to fall sick, and go to hospital. You're either gonna survive it or you're gonna die. But most people don't want to die, so majority of people look at the expectation to survive it, and most of the people that look at it from that standpoint do survive it. And the people that look at it like a terminal thing do pass on. So I think the important thing that you said is a psychological thing. The mind is very powerful.
So a lot of people are also frustrated because let's go with the school aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Where the kids are now being told not to continue school anymore and just do it all online.
Mm-hmm.
Where in some states they are trying to go back to what was normal. And there's that halt again and the lockdown again and whatever else. Like, what would you say to a parent who is dealing with that issue of not being able to be free right now?
What do you mean free as the parent?
Okay. So free means it going back to where things would be. So restaurants open, schools open, all this stuff is open, and going back to the normality of life.
Mm-hmm.
Well, me personally, I think it's a good thing anyway for the kids to be at home, learning from home and being in the home structure and not being in this public school system learning. So I think it's a great thing. I think this COVID to me brought reality into a lot of families because it has brought people to come home. It's brought people to be aware. Bringing the family back together is what is the masterpiece of what I look at it as true love, more of a thought process of where we've been in the past, because we've been in this rat race, living for these big corporations, trying to make our ends meet to where we have neglected home for so long because the kids are raising themselves, parents is working 2 jobs, there's not really a family setting. So now everyone is focused at home because there's nowhere else to go, there's nothing open. So I think it's a blessing in disguise that we do have COVID going on and people are at home. My whole thing is that I don't like it that it's trying to separate the families of the 6 feet distance or whatnot, because I'm all about energy, and I know that energy is just so important, and that's the reason why a lot of us are alone, at home, scared. We have fear, and then we're more scared, and then we got our mask on at home to where we're even bringing fear in our home. Fear is the master key of what's going on right now is what I believe. If you're fearing for your life, then the law of attraction is that you're going to attract that fear to you. At least that's what I believe about it. We've been having diseases and viruses for the longest. So for us to not even, you're in my face, get back, I think is just crazy, because at that point you are pushing the energy away that's made us whole, that's made us the support system. That's what they want us to do, is not have a support system and be by ourselves and be at home alone and scared and, I'm going to get COVID or whatever it is,
And that only amplifies the depression, because not only are you isolated, but now you're stressed out, you're frustrated, you're depressed, and it's amplified by 10 easily.
And then you're watching the news of what they're showing you anyway that is negative. So anyone that is dying, I can't even really say that these cases are real, because anything with anyone dying, they're going to raise these numbers up with COVID. I'm not saying COVID's not real, but I believe that a lot of these deaths, some of them are not dealing with COVID, but they are going to put the COVID on there just to bring fear into our home and make it more to where, we're not going to go over to Becky's house this weekend, or we're not going to go to Susie's house, we are staying home. And you're not going over Joey's house this weekend either, we have to just be here. And I think that is where it has to stop, because we have to be loving individuals, humans,
Yes.
again, of being that support system for your loved ones and encouraging and loving each other and lifting each other's spirits up. We are all going through something in life.
Yes.
All of us are.
Yes.
Mentally.
Yeah. Because we need each other. We need each other to breathe. We need each other to function. We need each other to, have a little bit of hope and faith that tomorrow will be a little bit better, a little bit brighter. But when we don't have that access, it's not easy at all. It's hard, And when a person is going through something that is so tough, and let's say that they are an outcast, right, of family, right, and so they try to reach out to family, right, but because of COVID, they are ignored. That person could be at the lowest point, and all they need is just a word of encouragement, just a word of, how are you? Are you okay? Are you
I've
good?
been thinking about you.
I've been thinking about you. They just need just something. But because of the news, like you said, you shun them, you push them away, you distance them, and before you know it, the suicide rate is so high. That person, it's like, well, why should I even be here anymore? If I'm not even worthy with my own family, why should I be here? So they go through this stuff within their own brain, and before you know it, any opportunity for them to check themselves out, they're going to do that. And that's not good. But it's happening every day, a lot. And then when that happens, they call it COVID. When that happens, they call it COVID.
Well,
yeah, chime in.
In defense of that, though, there is, I don't believe they're just saying it's COVID. It's COVID. I think what you end up seeing is that there are people who have underlying circumstances, like if they diabetes,
Okay.
and other pre-existing illness,
Okay.
and those people are more susceptible to COVID.
Okay.
So if COVID attacked them, they're already in a compromised position. So if something that they would have survived if COVID wasn't there, now COVID comes like the bulldozer that finally knock them off the edge. And that's why there's the only way you could record that fatality is to COVID, because absent of COVID, the chances of survival was a lot higher. So those are little details that is in the devil is in the details.
Okay.
So nevertheless, we acknowledge the reality of what COVID is doing. You spoke some positive things that COVID is doing, which is like people are home more with family. A wife, I think they said that so many children were born. People
Yeah, there's a lot of pregnancies going on right now.
So you have that, and then you have families that never really got a chance to work out differences, and at the same time you have some adverse effects of COVID, where family that the distancing really kept the family united in a way. Now they're together, they're each other's throat. Now they're separated because of COVID. So there's two sides of the coin. I do believe that in this aspect, we have to encourage people to look at the good side of what's going on, because we really can't control the narratives of what's going on. We don't have the microphone. We don't have the audience that these mega medias have. So what I would encourage people to do is to deep inside, look inside. All the strength. You have the wisdom that you need in here. You have the courage that you need in here. You have the strength. You have the information. Everything that you need to be able to overcome this circumstance is within. So you have to look inside to draw into inside and let this COVID make you the best of you. Because if you're looking outside, then the outside has got nothing good. Okay, even sometimes when it appears to be good, it's not.
So when you said outside, how could somebody understand your definition of outside? What does that mean?
Outside of yourself.
Outside of yourself.
I get what you're saying, because everything is within.
Right.
Everyone should have the tools within.
Right.
A lot of people don't have the tools within.
Right.
I wanted to say something though. I mean, you do have your family unit for everyone that's at home. You know, mom, dad, kids. I think that every family and whoever you're sharing your space with, you guys need to acknowledge, love, and uplift each other for who's in your home. This is a time to come together. Your estranged relationships with your siblings or cousins, your outside people that you are not communicating with or not visiting no more. I'm thinking that's the families that I'm talking about, you know, the outside sources of coming together and building this unity back, what is so important. We have the family unit at home, and of course we need to start at home as far as building and uplifting our kids up, building your wife and your husband up, building that solid unit at home, so then you can bring in your cousins and uncles and sisters and everyone else together back into this unit, this village.
Right.
We have to come back as a community of building of what's been on the outside of us, because we have not been right within. The family has not been right within for a long time.
Yes.
There's been so much animosity, competition. The love is gone. You know, people has been moving with their pride and ego to where they want to be better than the rest, and it's breaking it down to where cousins don't even know cousins anymore.
Yeah.
You know,
people don't talk on the phone; they text. You know, and people like me get left behind because I'm a one-finger texter.
Yeah.
And by the time I say one word, and somebody said 500 words, and I'm like, be patient, take it easy.
Yeah.
You know, but I see what you're saying. I mean, it's important to come to that place.
And I think this is where we are at in society.
Absolutely.
It's time to build that unit up.
We just finished Thanksgiving. Do you know how many grandmothers and grandfathers could not participate in Thanksgiving this year alone just because of the fear that's in place? Which I understand rightfully, but they're not able to see their kids or their grandkids, you know, because, you know, they have to stay separated, you know, and I wonder what they feel like.
It feels horrible.
It feels horrible, but at the same time, you need them to survive for the next one. You know, I mean, we can't deny the reality of things. The elderly people are dying more. You know, whether it's COVID or something else, but there hasn't been recorded this amount of death from one single situation. You know, so I'm not going to turn a blind eye on that. It is what it is. Even if it's from meteorites hit them and they died, they haven't died like this. Not like this, they haven't.
So what are your thoughts? Do you think that we continue with social distancing and not dealing with your family? And
well, and that's what I'm saying. I believe we have to do just like ordinarily, like I said earlier, if you were to be sick and they take you to the hospital, you have to stay there till you get better. They'll give you a chance to reunite with your family. So whatever the experts suggest that we do, well, if you look around the world, you've seen that the countries or societies that have taken that advice seriously have minimized the fatality of this whole thing. They really, like, 14,000 people died in the United States this week alone on COVID. 13,500 died in Canada through the entire time of COVID. Why? Because they taking it seriously. They putting rules in place, and the citizens are obeying it. The biggest thing that we have here is that we have the most powerful person in this country that has started saying this is not real. So this person spoke from both sides of his mouth. If you look at Bob Woodward's interview that he did, he admitted that this thing is airborne. It's more dangerous than any virus that they've ever had. He knew that.
Mm-hmm.
Then why would he downplay so much? Because 74 million Americans believe in everything that comes out of his mouth. Okay, that's a good section of the society. Okay, and when this 74 people decide to rebel against the rules, and they say we're going to do what we're going to do, and among that 74 million, they continue to amalgamate with society, other people. They are spreading it because that thing is airborne.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's why you see the cumulative damage that this thing has done, is because there is the most powerful man in this country that I've told his followers, ignore it.
So basically what you're saying is, in the meantime, obey the rules, follow the rules for right now.
Yeah, because it will pass.
Distance yourself.
Yeah.
But then, for how long? When you have people that are frustrated that things are not going, which the way you said it earlier was that, well, maybe this is a way for them to have closeness, right? Mm-hmm. Which I get and I understand. But for those that are frustrated and they want to know how long do they hold on? How long do they wait? What would you say to someone that's,
I don't think you could put a timetable on it, but
I want to say I don't think we're ever going to go back to the normal life that we were living. I think this is going to be the new norm. This is going to be the new circumstances of segregation. We've always been segregated. This is another way of segregation for us to be separate.
I am going to continue to say that
speak it. Yeah.
But no, for real, I respectfully disagree with that.
Okay.
And the reason why I said, people love life. So when it comes to life, we have very short-term memory. Okay? Human beings are just like that. Okay? We return back to what makes us, give us what we have fun doing. We always go back. Like, let's say for an example, somebody says, got in trouble. He said, Lord, if you help me out this time, I'm never going to do that again. The Lord helped him out. He stopped for a minute.
Yeah.
And then stopped for a minute. Next thing you know, he's gone back a little bit. Next thing you know, he's in there again. Hey! So that's how life is. We will be back.
You think we'll be back?
Oh yeah. Guaranteed it. I put everything on it.
So what happens to the family unit? I mean, let's say that COVID didn't even happen. You think the family unit will ever go back to how it used to be years ago when, we all gathered together as a village and we all raised our kids together and the love was there and the support was there?
The family unit already fractured before COVID got there. You get into somebody's house and everybody's in their own area with headphones and just doing their own thing.
But that's what I'm saying. You don't think that this was put upon us to continue in this order? To continue as far as not being close and not being together? And this is only separating us further and further?
And that's when we have to make it a point. Things don't just happen.
But how can we make it a point if we're going to fall down and lay down and follow the rules and regulations of not coming together and supporting each other, and we following like we've been programmed for years to do?
That's a short-term thing, though. That's what we're talking about.
But this separation's been going on for generations now. So why would this now going to be a short term?
I'm lost a little bit.
Okay.
Are you lost?
No, I follow.
Okay, well, you guys let me in because I'm when you say for generations, yes, there's always we're from Africa.
Yeah.
Okay, and we start going to boarding schools when we're 12 years old. Mm-hmm. You leave home, and some of us never returned. Okay, we go to boarding schools. From boarding school, we go to university. Mm-hmm. From university, we get our own job.
Yeah.
We leave home. Never to come back. At 12, you're gone. So, but they have the biggest family units. You know why? Because family live when they come back. Majority of them, we live together. Some of them, sometimes we have a big house that everybody, you go to other states to get a job, other states, stuff like that. But every holidays, everybody have a room in that house. They bring their children, and they all live. Even if it's one room, everybody lives there. So I think you're talking about cultural things in United States. When children leave home at a certain time, the parents wash their hands and say, "You're on your own now.
You're 18. Mm-hmm. You're old.
18,
you're old enough."
So those, if you're talking about it from that perspective, yeah, the people have to make an intentional effort to rebuild the family. To say we have to make decisions that we're going to stay together. We're going to stay. You're going to call me. We're going to talk every week. You set rules. We talk about boundaries,
right, in
relationship and families. So those things. This is a civilized society. Nigeria is not. It's a developing society. It's not as civilized as here, but they understand the importance of keeping family together. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, with the different cultural, you guys are raised out to be men. A lot of here in Colorado, I mean, kids don't get that opportunity to go. And I'm not even going to say an opportunity. We have not trained our own kids that very well to be able to go out and become a man and come back home, or we get together as a family. Normally we got some young kids that don't want to work. Mm-hmm. The whole structure of the family is gone. So there is no going to a boarding system. That I'm sure has to cost money to send your kid off somewhere. There's no money in the home.
That's a topic for another time. because if really that's a system of government. Nigeria, there's two things that are free: education and healthcare.
Well, we don't have that here.
But it's not as sophisticated as it's here. But education is, but healthcare is not as sophisticated. If you want sophisticated healthcare, you have to pay for it.
But it's still that family unit, though. Even coming together, though. Yeah. Even after you get older, it's still that family unit of coming together and knowing that you guys have this support system within one another. So if one is doing bad, you're there to support that that family. Are those children? I think America, And I can only really speak for America. We have lost the value of really what family is.
And this is the opportunity to build on that. Because this is, I'd say by June, things are going to start going back to normal.
Okay.
By June.
So that's a good time frame.
Right.
I was asking that question.
Yeah.
So if you're saying by June, okay, at least it gives somebody hope to stand on that and be like, okay, all right, I'm gonna keep putting on this mask and do my best and communicating with my family. Hey, I love you. Just a process, till about June or whatever. Let's just hold tight.
But this time you have to treat it as if you lost something before and you just found it. If you lost something before and then you just found that thing, your standard of care for that thing is going to be better than what it was before you lost.
So if you lost your oxygen because you couldn't breathe through the mask and you found it, right? And
now
it's
you're
like,
going to cherish it more and be more careful if you miss a relationship with Cole because of COVID. Now you have opportunity. Now you're going to treat Cole a lot more better. You're going to respect her. You're going to do things that shows that you appreciate your present that you used to take for granted.
I kind of have a rebuttal here, guys.
Yeah.
So what happens to the people that's out here in life that done lost their job? It's probably about to get kicked out. What do you do to your loved ones then at that point? Because COVID's going on, you done lost your job, you still got to stay away. I don't know where you're going to go. But you can't come home to me. And this is your own family.
Yeah. Well,
but we got to follow the rules and obey, right?
That's why they should went out and vote for government.
They go out and vote
for a government that's going to put provisions in there for them to be able to keep their apartment until stuff like that, And that's reality. That's actually going on now. But if you had a government that's more sympathetic to the people instead of the corporations, then they would have passed that COVID bill that had been laying on the Senate.
But we are the worker bees that should still love our family and honor and cherish one another and not follow these corporations and governments. We lose as a people when we follow these big corporations and governments just trying to live like the rest of the people. Well, that's why our family's being neglected right now. Because we too busy running this rat race trying to get that bread and wanting to be better than our neighbor.
Oh, so you talking about us helping subsidize the rent?
No, just being open. I think what I'm hearing is, being able to welcome the person into your home
until they get back better on the feet. Of course, you see, if you're in a position to do that, you should do that.
We should automatically do that. It shouldn't be in a position or not. I mean, that's why we don't have families the way that they should be, because that is your rock, your support system. It's supposed to be your family when you are down and out.
Right. No, what I mean by position, I mean financial position.
But regardless of financial or not, we are better two than just one. Two heads is always better than one.
You mean them coming in and then you guys contribute to live together? Is that what you're saying?
Sure.
Okay, whichever way, but you still have to be in position to do it, though.
Or so basically, if you're in position, let them be stranded where they are.
No. I'm talking in position means you have the ability. Like if you have this house. Okay, and they don't have a place to go, you tell them, hey, I have room.
Well, even if I didn't have a room, say it's just an apartment, they could lay on the floor.
Okay.
I might not even have a room for them, but it's just accepting your own.
What I mean,
and bringing them in. I mean, that's what humanity and loving life and anything that live is all about.
Right.
Yeah. And what I heard Cole say is that, okay, the person lost their job because a lot of people are losing their jobs, daily. They're losing it. So they've lost their jobs and don't have anything else. Is family there to pick them up?
Yeah. Yeah. If family there, they should pick them up. I agree with that. They should pick them up. No matter if you're living in a shack. If they want to
it's a one bedroom and there's 8 people.
Stay with you. That's how we live when I was growing up.
Of course, we understand that. But most people don't understand that, and the fear has taken over a lot of people.
Yeah.
So when that fear is going on, it is hard to make a clear decision or thinking process and what to do. So we just try to troubleshoot all of that.
Right. Yeah. I agree.
Okay.
So,
I don't know. I just look at COVID. I'm not saying COVID's not real, guys. I just think it's like off the amongst of all the other viruses and disease that were, that's out here. It's just that they're making COVID a number one priority right now to bring fear into our household and to keep loved ones away from each other.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We are living in some trying times right now that a lot of people don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I agree. I just I believe that there is a silver lining right now. With the virus, that I think the projection is, if you can vaccinate 70% of the population, okay, if you can vaccinate 70% of the population, the herd immunity would be able to suppress the virus.
So you're for vaccinations.
Yeah, even though.
So you're gonna get this vaccination that's coming out?
I've never had a flu vaccination, and I have allergies. So.
So how do you know this vaccination is going to work? I mean, just like for now, these flu vaccinations that you get once a year, there's so many flu viruses, strands of flus that go around. How do you know that it's for the right virus?
That's why I never took one.
Then how do you know if it's going to suppress it?
Because I know viruses work. It works.
You mean vaccinations work?
Yeah, I mean, sorry. Vaccinations work.
Well, I've seen many of people go, I'm not going to call them foolish, but you get lots of people that go out once a year and go get this flu vaccination, and they end up getting sick right after they take this shot.
Because the virus, they inject the virus into you.
Right. But there's so many different strands, so you don't know what virus that they're putting in you or what's going to come around that year.
Yeah.
So you're just like, here, just go ahead and give me the flu for the year. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what you're doing.
It worked. The majority of the population don't die because
everyone gets the flu right after they get the shot.
But they don't die.
Well, of course they might not die, but they get the flu.
Yeah, for 2 days, other than having the flu for a long time.
Well, we'll talk about immune system. We're gonna talk about immune system a different time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I was about to go there too.
Today's focus is on family. And
I know. How did we get here?
The focus is on family, and at the end of the day, it is tough out there for people. A lot of people are hurting. A lot of people are having a hard time within family. It's confusing. And people do not know. Most people don't know what to do. There are people that's following the rules, but it is disheartening. It's a lot for them, and so what I would say, to anyone out there who is having a hard time, is number one, just take a deep breath. My go-to is taking deep breaths, right, and then count your blessings. And what I mean by that is that be thankful that at least you are okay. So you have to think about yourself first. Be thankful that you're okay. And then all of your immediate family members that's around you, be thankful for that. Then number two, I'll say reach out to them, and just say, hey, so you might not live together or whatever, but at least reach out, and say, hey, I didn't want anything. I'm just thinking about you. All right. Have a good day. I love you. If you need anything, let me know, and just reach out and share that love, that energy, with them, because it helps soothe the pain. It helps comfort the moment. It helps create a comforting, just to be able to move on to the next moment, So do that, and then number three, breathe again. Just breathe, and like Uncle said, and in time it will pass and everything will be fine. But in the meantime, as you're going through it, because sometimes you might not think logically, when going through the fire. When you see the fire burning, your mind is not calm and collected, to be able to navigate effectively. So in that mindset, as you breathe and be calm, it helps you navigate better, because if not, it can eat you alive, and you could just drop dead just like that. And so that's what I have to say when it comes to family is, number one, take a deep breath, reach out to those.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I think all the concerns that Nicole bring up, they're legitimate. Absolutely. They're very legitimate concerns. And but at the end of the day, we have to look for the best in all of us. Like she was saying, if you are in a position to offer a helping hand, do it without hesitation. Just because hard times have a funny way of bringing people together. Okay, hard times have a funny way of bringing people together, and I'm not saying that ignore the adversities, but look inside. You have everything you need to overcome it within.
Yes.
So if you don't look inside for the tools that is already there to overcome it, then you might likely fall victim for it. So we just have to keep encouraging people to continue to stand strong.
Yeah.
To stand strong.
I would just like to say, I would just want everyone to be mindful of where their thoughts are at, and also when they are looking at their loved ones, to not be fearful of this COVID. We need to move in love, and that's the humanity way of loving one another. Anything that breathes air is supposed to be catered to, loved, cared for, not to look at them like they have a disease, even though they might be sick. For people that are sick, you should still be there to help them. That is the humanity way. That is the loving way. You can't just sit here and not deal with someone because they're sick and you think that they have COVID. Mm-hmm. We are losing ourselves every day as a person because we're thinking that we're better, or now we're scared because someone's ill or sick. We don't want to be around them. We don't want them in our home. We really have to get our priorities together here and be right within, because I know if I have a sick loved one, I'm going to be there to help them, and I'm not going to fear of me getting COVID. And if it's my time to die, it's going to be my time to die at that point.
I feel you, but don't do it.
That's love. That's love. That's love. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. So, well, thank you for your words.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This was good.
Yeah.
Because it is tough out there. People are losing their mind. Seriously, like they don't know what to do. Their frustration, and when one person is frustrated, it's like a ripple effect. The next that energy transfers to the next person, and that frustration just keeps multiplying and multiplying.
The emotions are high. The emotions are everywhere.
Yeah.
And we're pushing these emotions on everyone else as far as being scared.
Yeah.
And not knowing what's going on.
Yeah.
We can't live in fear.
Yeah, and that's hard because most people don't know how to not do that.
And watching TV just keeps on pushing it onto you.
And the things that most people have an infection to want to keep watching it.
And it's all a mental thing at the end of the day. So if your mind is thinking you're going to get COVID, 9 times out of 10, you're going to attract that COVID.
Well, they're thinking that they might miss something by turning it off, so they keep watching it. So
you guys could have made a song out of that.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
So okay, cool beans. Well, hey, we love you. We thank you. We appreciate you just tuning in and listening to us. Share our passion and share our love. We want to talk more about family, especially right now in the holiday season, because it's that time. Sure, you can buy gifts and send them out, but it's not the same when you're not able to see each other and be next to each other and hug one another and hold each other and exchange the energy between you next to each other.
And actually touching that person and saying, I love you,
So, I cannot tell you what you should do, but all I'm saying is as you are going through the process, don't forget to breathe a little bit. Just breathe, then be thankful that you're here, then be thankful for those around you, and then reach out to those and say, hey, I love you, if you need anything, we can talk. I'm available at least to talk to you, and just those little small things help in this time, that we're living in. And
I just think we just all need to be mindful of one another, because we all have thoughts in our head, and we all sit here living with fearful thoughts or mental thoughts of suicide. I mean, depression, and being mindful of the people that are at home by themselves or have a very small family and there's no one else here. I just lost a good friend of mine today that his family's in Oklahoma, and here he is out here by himself, So just be mindful of your loved ones and checking on them all the time, and sharing your love with them is the most important key.
Absolutely. Anything else you want to add in, Uncle?
Yeah, I agree with everything you guys are saying. It's a very difficult time, but I also believe that it's a temporary thing.
Okay.
Before we know it, we're going to have another problem be upon us. As long as life is concerned, we're always going to have this. And so it's not the problem that is the matter. It's being prepared to meet it. Being prepared to meet that problem. And the best way, like she said, meet it with love.
Absolutely.
Meet it with love. Love conquer all.
Yes.
And it's the family unit coming together.
Yeah.
That's the only way that we can outcome a lot of this stuff.
Yeah. A lot of people think love is weak. No, love is strength.
Love is strong.
It's strong.
Love is beautiful.
It's power.
It's powerful.
Under control.
Absolutely.
So if you don't understand what love means, you just need to understand how easy for there to be darkness, but how hard it is for there to be a light. For there to be a light, somebody has to go out and slave so that he can turn that light on. But if you want to be in darkness, all you got to do is lay down and sleep. And darkness will come to you.
And some people are still asleep.
I think as humans, we take a lot of things for granted in
Absolutely.
life. So even for people that are at home, please don't be beating up your husband or your wife.
Yeah.
It's time of love coming in and loving each other and supporting each other. This is the time of opening up your eyes and realizing what you have in front of you before it's gone. Because you could be like some people out here that don't have a husband, don't have a family, and you're at home with nothing.
Yeah.
But yourself and your thoughts.
Yeah.
Yes. And allow your words, anytime you're speaking to anyone, engaging with whoever, allow your words to be good with that person, because you don't want your last words with that person to be something that you regret, but at least be at peace with.
Amen to that.
So with that being said, thank you for your time. Like and share this video.
Subscribe.
Already.
And like and share it again.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We appreciate you. We love what we do. And share your thoughts, share your comments. And in the meantime, have a good day. One love, big hugs. And until next time, peace.
Peace.
Bless.
Already.
Already.
Already.